welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Back here where we need ya. Yeah, the tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. 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 All right, give it a stretch. Oh, that's good. Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hopefully that last break session the last work session was a productive one for you. This break session, I wanted to take a look at this thing. So let me just share my screen. So I'm gonna copy this link. I'm gonna add it to the list of links that you can check out. Save links. All right. So I made this website. I think I spoke about it previously. Cool. So this is mylight.work, all right? And light as in, tools that I made, web components, lightning talks, and other random things they're projects where they don't really need their own separate domain. So this is like a collection of all the stuff that I use. And so I have a place to look at it because I have different accounts in different places where I make random things. And for the stuff that I will use a lot or whatever, instead of having to look in all where did I put that? Was it here? Was it here or anything? I can just go here. So for example, so here's the different works, right? And so this private key to environment variable, a lot of projects I use, well, not a lot, but projects that I use, especially for work, you require a private key on the back end to be able to authenticate and make requests and things. So instead of uploading it to the server, which sometimes I don't even have access to because it's a serverless thing. So what I do is it's easier for me to have environment variables because I can set those in the dashboard of wherever I'm hosting the application. So this will generate the value I need to put into the environment variable and then pull that into the back end to make requests and things. So that's what that does. Then I have this web component that I make because for certain things, like talks and workshops or whatever, I like to give prizes if I have any. So let's say here, and then you can spin that. So I have the GitHub repo and it gives me all the instructions that I need just in case if I need to add something to it, right? And that's going to finish at some point. So yeah, so this is a web component I made. It's prize-wheel or something like that. Great, 1 sausages. All right, so another thing that I want to use this site for is for quick lightning talks, because I have other sites. I think I talk about it in the lightning talk or whatever, but I have other sites where I do talks and workshops, and those are a little bit more involved in what they do. So, but the lightning talks are just me throwing up some stuff on slides and talking about it quickly, right? And so that's what this is basically for. So I want to kind of go through the lightning talk and how I made it. It was for Orlando JS. This is where I got a chance to actually try this out. And so shouts to Orlando JS for allowing me to do this. So so here is this. I'm pretty hyped about the View Transitions API. And so I wanted to do a quick talk about it, and maybe other people will be hyped about it, right? And so here it is, right? So when I'm not presenting, this is what it looks like so anybody can go and do it and go through the slides, right? Now, what I did was I created a backend. So when I am live, so I have this. What did I just do? Okay, so I have this backend right here. Let me share this tab. So this is the admin section. It is mad basic, but it works for what I need, right? And so what I'm going to do is, so this is how I kind of switch everything to being live, when I'm presenting. So what you saw is when I'm not presenting, but if I am presenting, I go ahead and take the slug URL of the actual thing, and I generate credentials for it. And I'm using Vonage APIs because, again, I work at Vonage. So it allows me to test things in new ways and also kind of like reinforce my learning of the stuff that we have, right? And so I got my admin JWT, which is I'm going to use, and then the viewer JWT, right? And a conversation where everybody's going to kind of like join and talk, right? I save that, as it to here. Now, by doing that, I am actually, so if you go back to here, so now basically it's kind of like a live thing, right? So it's no longer an archive. So you can tell the difference because when I refresh the page, hopefully, so now it's in like, hey, live preview, like live lightning talk mode. I don't know what to call it. So the people in the audience can then scan this QR code, and that will take them to, let me get that here. Because all the stuff I do, I like to try have it be, oh, I cannot type. I like it to be interactive, right? So if people scan it, they get, let me share this tab. They get this view, right? And so now the way I control it, so they scan it, they see this view, right? Cool. Now, so back to the admin. So you see here, I have admin and work, right? So me as the admin, I would go here, click this, and then that gives me this, right? And you can see I have speech recognition. I can control the slides here. So what I'm going to do is so I can control the slides by clicking, left and right. And I can also select individual slides to jump right to them. What I'm going to do is, you probably didn't see it show because I don't think it shows that in the screen share. It's fine. But so what I'm going to do is now, so normally this would be on my phone, which is what I am doing right now. Cool. So, all right, so now looking at this, I am going to start the speech recognition, right? Okay, so the speech recognition should be started. And if you look back at the viewer tab, you'll see this. Did it stop? Hold on. Wait. Oh, wait. What just happened? I think it stopped. That's weird. Hold on. All right. So it should still keep going. Okay. Yeah, it's going. I wonder why. It looked like it stopped. I have to look into that. Maybe it's just this fine. I think I did on the other phone and it was fine. I'm not sure what happened there. But yeah, so it's kind of working. Right? Cool. Now, I am going to switch the slides from here. So on my phone, the same thing, I can switch the slides. So I'm going to go to the next slide. And so here, oh, okay, you didn't see that, but I forgot to switch the tabs. But you saw on the viewer that the slide kind of changed. So the icon changes, right? Because in that area, that is where you'll be able to interact with the slides. And so that's what I'm working on. You'll be able to like vote in polls. I didn't do that for this one, but in the future, if I ask like a question, you'll be able to vote in polls and it'll show up on the slides, right? And other random things I'm going to do. But let me share this tab instead. So here, so now back to here, right? What I can do is go through the slides. And so here I talk about, my slides page is where my conference talks slides are, and my workshops.live are where my workshops live, right? And so I go ahead and talk about that. Cool. Then I talk about this site. I talk about all the stuff I kind of talked about earlier. And then I talk about view transitions in API, and I ask who's heard of it. Here I'll probably put something where it'll be like a poll and people can vote yes or no, and it'll show up the results on the slides like in real time. So that's what I'm gonna be working on later today. I'm hoping to have a demo to show that later. So we'll talk about that. Cool. Then then I talk about how JavaScript frameworks are kind of like filling the gap, because for a long time on native devices, you're able to have these cool transitions between certain states of the app. So if you're like on a music player and you have like a list of all your albums, you'd be able to like click an album cover artwork, and then that'll like expand, and the track list will show up, and like this nice smooth animation, super dope stuff. And so I talk about how JavaScript frameworks are like filling the gap, and I talk about like Svelte. So I normally use like Svelte, right? But I think a lot of the other different frameworks and libraries do it. And so I have links here that you can check out. And so, for example, on the Svelte, so they have like this cool thing here, like in their, they have this transitions. And so I have this pretty cool thing, this demo here. So I talk about the things you can go and play around with it, right? They also have this, which I thought was a super cool demo, and using like their deferred transitions, you able to like click it. So I thought that was pretty dope. All right, so back to here. I'm kind of actually just going through my talk real quick. All right, so that was talking about the JavaScript frameworks. But now the View Transition API came out, and it first came out for SPAs, single page apps. And there I have a link to this article. It's pretty dope here. And then so it talks about, you know, how to do it for the single page applications. And I kind of talk about, you know, one of the main things that you need to look for is this start view transition. And then that tells you set how you want to update the DOM, and it does all this stuff. Cool. I think I have examples here also you can check out. So the next one. So here's like an example, shouts to Stack Blitz. For some reason, like when I tried to open it in a new tab, like, so it works here. Kind of takes a second for once you load the images initially, I don't know the size of them, but then afterwards you have like a nice, real smooth transition, right? And then I showed the code here where basically everything kind of starts off right here with the document transition here. And this is their update, the DOM somehow, which is here. Cool stuff. So you can play around with the code and things. So that's important for me in different. So when you go back to it, you can always play around with what you just saw, right? All right, so that's that one. Then we have this one, which was a little bit more like a advanced example, but still pretty cool. It's like a you add tabs here, and so cards, and so you can like delete a card, it goes away. That's pretty cool. And a lot of this is just like CSS. So the browser is kind of deciding how to update everything. You just kind of like setting different variables, different like class names on things. All right, so that's pretty cool. All right, next one. Then I talk about View Transitions API for MPAs, and this is one I'm very excited about. So actually, so with a single page app, it's all basically one app, and you're kind of faking it. Well, I guess not really fake, but you're not actually transitioning from like a page to page, as I would think in a web app, like, you know what I'm saying, like a web page, and where you're going from like one page to another page. Single page apps are really just one page, but it does some trickery to make you think like you're going to multiple pages. All right. Whereas this is actually going from one page to another page on the same domain, same origin kind of thing. Right. Then I have an article here that talks about it as well, so you can read more about it. It's a very good article. Shouts to these folks. I think I might have spoken about it here like a while ago. So really dope, right? Cool. Back to here. Now, cool. Yes. So I go to that. Then I have some examples. Bam. So this is another one. Now, for the way they have the View Transitions API, they don't work in iframes. So you can't have like a transition thing in your iframes, right? So let me open this in Stack Blitz. So here it is. I'm going to have to open it in a new window here. So here is like the page, right? I should show this tab. So now here, normally, this is a regular page. So it goes from one page to the next page. And you see the kind of fade there. I slowed it down so that it was a little bit more pronounced, and to also show that you can't, like while it's fading, like these buttons are inert. Like you can't click on these. They'll do nothing because it's in the middle of the transition. And so to make that happen, that's funny that it saved it. Oh, you know why? Because it's my own Stack list. That's why I didn't do that. All right, but let's see. So share this tab here. So right here, so these three lines right here, 1, 2, 3, is what allows that transition to happen. That's all you need. And then to kind of like mess around these, I have this animation duration here where you're pointing to the root, which is like the whole thing, because you can name them. Again, that's all in the article. But I set it for 5.5 seconds. And so normally, so I'm gonna comment that out, save that, and then go back to here. Share this tab, my bad. And then so you can see this is kind of like the normal speed of it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, all you need to get that out of the box crossfading is just making sure that every page that wants to opt in has this view transition navigation auto. And you can do a whole bunch more. It's pretty dope. Again, that's why I've linked to the article. All right, so back to the slides. So that was that. Then I have another example, which I thought was super cool. Did I click it? Oh, no, I didn't click it. Okay. There we go. All right. And so here's another one. I'm going to just open this up and stack lists from now. Will it work here? Oh, it does work inside. Oh, you know what? It's a whole thing. But I think normally it wouldn't work. But the way it's doing the JavaScript handle, it's, yeah, whatever. So, but yeah, this is a pretty cool example here. And I find this useful. I might actually be using this in the next project that I'm currently working on. And so like it's going from page to page. I don't know if you can see it here. It doesn't show it there. Okay. Oh, you can't see it because I'm not sharing the whole thing. But it's going from different pages. So like different indexes. So it's actually going from actual different pages, separate pages. And yeah, there's some JavaScript. So right here, so let me look at so the CSS, again, you see here those same three lines. That makes it happen. And then you're using JavaScript to determine whether it's going forwards or backwards. And then so you have the transition types, and you're naming the different things, like the root, the whole thing. You're not giving it a name. The content, which is this article part here, like these dashed lines, you're calling that content. And the pagination here, that's what you're calling that, right? And then, so that's the forward. You're saying what to do. You slide out to the left, and then slide in from the right. So the old transition is sliding to the left, and then so it's sliding out, so it's going that way. And then the new content is sliding in from the right. And then they have all the different things. And then what happens backwards. And then if you click it, you see it does a fade out, scale down, fade in, scale up. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Kind of amazing. And they show all the stuff is actually in here, I think. So yeah, you see all the different keyframes for those different animations, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so that's that. Super awesome, super dope. And the browser is deciding all that. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to worry about all like the minutia of moving things and figuring out where things are. You know what I'm saying? Like get rect bound something or whatever, and then figuring that out, and you don't have to do that. Cool. Next slide. So then right now it's not in every framework, like in every browser. Like there's still, I think Safari and Firefox aren't fully supporting it. But Chromium, so Chrome and Edge support it. And if you don't have it, it just works like a normal web page, which I think is super dope. It's progressive enhancement. And so, but Astro, which is what I use to create my site here, and for the slides and everything, docs. So JavaScript frameworks are still kind of filling the gap until the browsers actually do it. And they have this link to this blog post, which is really cool. So in the docs, let me just open it up now. So here is how to use view transitions with Astro, right? And they're trying to stay as close to the spec of the view transition API as close as possible, because they're hoping that at some point you won't even really have to do anything. Because right now it's basically just for filling for browsers that don't support it. And so you can see here, June 11th, they're looking for 0 JavaScript view transitions. And it kind of talks about how they're looking to, at some point, not have to actually worry about all that stuff in the framework, that they can just let the view transitions API kind of handle everything. And yeah, so shouts to them. That's super dope. Back to here. Cool. Next. And then I have links to some other cool examples and like documentation that I have. I'll probably be adding more to that. If anybody knows any links, let me know. And so then also, I want to kind of show that here. You see this is kind of changing and stuff here. Cool. I just want to show that. All right, so back to here, and then ask, any thoughts or anything. I'll probably add like little emojis here so people can vote, like if they like it, don't like it, or thumbs up and thumbs down maybe. So later, hopefully I'll be able to show that. That's what I'm working on to add to this. I also need to figure out why I think I probably know why it stops the at least on here, the speech recognition. I don't know, that's weird. And then finally, I say thanks. I have some links to some stuff, and yeah, that is it. So that is kind of like what I spoke about during the Orlando JS meetup. Again, thanks for them for allowing me to be able to do that. And yeah, so that's it. So that is kind of like the behind the scenes of how I'll be able to do these lightning talk stuff. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And the way I have it, I can like add other like interactive elements to it. And so it's pretty dope. So I'm working on the poll stuff next. And then I have some other ideas that I want to do. But yeah, these are just web pages. And then I just link to them. And then I just go from page to page. And the View Transition API does the cool fading. I may do the slide thing where it'll slide in, but I'm not sure. But yeah, you can see it's possible just with the View Transition API, because these are just web pages that I can just quickly throw up, you know what I mean? And just, there's nothing fancy. There's like no big like JavaScript framework behind it to make things work. It's just web pages. Like I just create web pages, or the Astro components that turn into web pages. But and it's pretty. I don't know. I think this is exciting, the type of stuff that's coming to browsers. Just work inside browsers. It's web technologies. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty dope. And so I think that's cool. And that's why I like doing lightning talks, to talk about things I find cool. All right. So all that said, I'm going to get y'all back to work. When we come back, we'll take a look at an artist's website, maybe listen to some tracks, watch some videos. Maybe you'll become a fan. And yeah, but till then, I'm going to send you off with some traveling music. This is Anthony Cruz, a.k.a. A Butter. The track is called Thank You. So 15 minutes after the hour for the final break session. Till then, I wish you much productivity. Y'all be easy. Thanks for hanging out, and peace.
I want to say thank you for holding on when a brother was down and out. Now I feel so strong, and I want to say thank you for being there when a brother had nowhere to turn to. You were there, and I feel like hell, and everybody says hell. We spread love like hell. I want to say thank you for holding on when a brother was down and out. Now I feel so strong, and I want to say thank you.